Well, hello and welcome to the final day of Vlogmas, even though Vlogmas this year was not fully made to its fullest extent, although you know what, Zoe Sugg also didn't do it to the fullest of its extent, so I don't feel so bad, and I don't feel so guilty that I didn't film every single day in December this year. But hello, as you all know, if you've been here for a while, December 25th usually is, it's Christmas Day, but also this is the final video I make for the year, and then I take a little break from making videos, although I'm gonna be taking a break from videos, but I'm not gonna be taking a break from life, let me tell you. And usually during this time, I like to reflect on the year, reflect on what's happened, reflect on the things that have occurred. So I still want to keep that tradition. If I can keep one thing from Vlogmas this year, is this video. I want to keep this video, and I want to continue to make these no matter if I just upload one video or I upload 23 videos in December. But yeah, I just wanted to take this moment to reflect and really talk about 2021 because, oh my god, let me tell you, if there's one adjective, if there's one word to describe 2021, it's life-changing. Yes, let me tell you, 2021 was life-changing in more ways than one. And the year didn't start off great, I'm gonna be honest. And this is something that, you know, I'm kind of surprised at myself that I'm diving in headfirst into this, but might as well, we're already here. 2021 started off really rough. So the ending of 2020 towards the beginning of 2021, it was the period of time where I was the loneliest I had ever been. It was the loneliest I had ever been. I had never felt true loneliness in my entire life like I did in that period in time. There would days would go by where I wouldn't talk to anyone. I wouldn't even say a word for days. I mean, days would go by and I would realize that I had been quiet for 3 days straight without saying a single word. I didn't have anyone to communicate with. I didn't have really anyone to talk to, and I just kept almost everything to myself, which is, you know, the norm for me. I usually like to keep things to myself, and I don't like really talking about a lot of things that go on in my personal life or in my private life, just because, you know, sometimes I don't like feeling like a burden, and I don't like feeling like I'm bleeding into somebody else. I don't like feeling like I'm just throwing all my problems and throwing all my burdens into somebody else. It feels like I'm being a burden, so I usually don't say anything, and I usually just keep to myself. But during this time, I realized just how lonely I truly was, and just how alone I truly felt. It was real loneliness that I felt, but from that loneliness and from that silence was where In the Koi Pond came out, which was the 7th collection from my clothing brand. And, you know, to this day I still have an emotional attachment to that collection because, you know, it was sort of my escapism, and it was my way of freeing myself from the loneliness, and it was my way of feeling like I had a home and feeling like I was welcomed in an environment and like I was welcomed in a setting. And that's where In the Koi Pond grew out of. It grew out of this loneliness, and it grew out of this true solitaire, and it grew out of finding a solace within my creative work. And that's why I love what I do, and that's why I love making what I make, and why I love creating what I create, whether it's clothes, whether it's content on the internet, whether it's music. You know, there's always a reason behind it. Either I feel lonely, either I need a story to tell, or I just want to have fun with color, and I just want to have fun with stories, and I want to have fun with content. So there's always a purpose, and there's always a reason for everything I do. And In the Koi Pond, still to this day, is one of my favorite collections I have ever done for my clothing brand, because I know the true loneliness I felt during that time, and I am very aware of just the life I was leading at the time, which didn't have any future, to be completely honest. And then afterwards, you know, a lot happened in my life. And like I said, this year truly was life-changing, and, you know, I delve into new experiences. I got a day job, which is nice, and it's been great. You know, like with any other job, there's definitely its downs, and there's definitely its disadvantages, but there's also its advantages as well. And thanks to that, I've been able to invest more in my clothing brand. I've been able to invest more in other things, and also I'm a little bit more financially stable, which is great, which was not the case for the beginning of 2021. Let me tell you that starting a clothing, like running a clothing brand with no investors, no capital, no shareholders, and just on your own with your own money and having nothing else to fall back on, is kind of scary, and it is very stressful, and you have a lot of sleepless nights, and you have a lot of nights wondering what the hell you're going to do, how you're going to manage everything, how are you going to pull through. I definitely had those nights this past year, but you know, thankfully I'm a little bit more stable and I'm a little bit more secure now in that regard. And also, you know, I don't feel as lonely as I did in the beginning of the year. I don't feel as lonely, I don't feel as lost, and I don't feel as alone as I did in the beginning of the year. And I feel good. I feel good about myself. I feel great about myself. I feel confident within myself, and I feel confident within the work I do, and I feel at ease with who I am as a person, and I feel confident with who I am as a person. And that is something I didn't expect to feel like by the end of 2021. However, I think, you know, there's a lot of experiences that I've gone through this year, and I think one of the biggest ones that stands out for me this year, and something that I truly am proud of myself that I was able to do, was my birthday this year. So my birthday this year was probably one of the most memorable birthdays I've ever had. I left LA for once, which thank God I finally left LA for once. I went to Los Gatos for my birthday, which was just such a magical and beautiful birthday trip. And Los Gatos on its own is a very, very small town, let me tell you that. And if you go back to the vlogs, you'll notice just how tiny the small is. It's a really small town. It's, I think, right by Silicon Valley. It's right by Santa Cruz as well, Cupertino too, where the Apple Park is. So it's a really, really small little homey town, which was just so beautiful. And you know, regardless of the fact that it's a small town, what made the trip so special and what truly made the trip so memorable was the people of the city. Because you can go to like one of the nicest places in the world and there be shitty people, and that's what ruins the whole trip. However, this town is so small, and the people there have such a warm hospitality, and everyone's so kind, and everyone's so welcoming. And like, even the people in their cars, I would cross the street, they would wave at me, and like, people just, you know, walking by, they would smile, they would stop, they would say, how are you? And that was just so lovely. And that truly is what made my birthday so memorable, was just the true human decency and the human kindness that you don't find in LA most of the time. And I'm definitely going to be going back there in 2022. And so that's, you know, one experience that stands out to me as just one of the best memories of the year. Also, getting vaccinated was something that truly was really memorable for me. And I know some people are like, it's just a vaccine, like whatever, but you know, 2020 was a really horrendous year for me, for everyone, for the whole world. It was just such a horrendous year for everyone. And you know, I wrote this in my letter that I always write on Instagram every end of the year, but in 2020 I truly felt like I lost a part of myself, and like I lost a really huge part of myself that took me such a long time to not only find back, but it took me such a long time to discover a different side of me that I didn't have before everything went down last year. And you know, this year in its own, getting vaccinated, I think was a step in the right direction. I have my booster scheduled for the first day of 2022, which is kind of crazy. I'm starting the year off with a booster, which is insane. But yeah, it's just, that was a really huge step in the right direction, and I'm glad I did it. Especially now, I'm definitely glad I did it. But those two things stand out as like top memories of 2021 that I can share on the internet. But yeah, now I look forward into 2022, and you know, today is Christmas Day, and I might feel physically exhausted just because December was such a busy month. Let me tell you, December this year was, I always know December is going to be the busiest time of the year for me. December is always the busiest time of the year for me, whether it's doing Vlogmas or making music or with a clothing brand or with whatever. But this year in particular, it was so busy, I hardly had any time for myself. Like I truly did not have any time for myself, and it was just go the whole month long. So now I'm at a point where I do definitely feel physically exhausted. My throat is almost giving up on me. I have a really bad sore throat today, so you know, it's giving up on me a little bit. So, you know, physically I do feel exhausted, but emotionally and mentally I feel very satisfied, and I feel very proud of myself for everything that I accomplished this year, because you know, I don't regret a single thing I made this year, and I don't regret a single project I work on. I don't regret anything I made this year, because I truly feel proud of everything I did, because it's truly what I had wanted to do thus this entire time. And now looking into 2022, I see an even busier year and an even bigger year ahead of me, an even bigger year for the clothing brand, an even bigger year for my presence on the internet, and an even bigger year for music. Because aside from, you know, starting to build this clothing brand from the ground up, I've been cooking up some music. I've definitely been writing a lot, and given a lot of the things that I've experienced this year, I definitely have much more inspiration in me than I had before, and I'm very excited for what I've been creating. And you know, what I've been creating for the past year and a half, nearly 2 years, is a story that I've been wanting to tell for a very, very long time. And I think this record that I'm creating right now is the embodiment of all that's evil and all that's bad, but also all that's good. Because, you know, from a negative experience, you can either bottle it in, or you can look at it, you can analyze it, you can assess it, and you can create something magical with it. And I wanted to create something magical, but I also wanted to create something that was real and something that was raw. And I'm really proud of what I've been creating musically, and I'm really proud of this body of work that is coming along really, really well. And I cannot wait for you guys to hear it, and I cannot wait for you guys just to see this vision I've had in my head for the past nearly 2 years, which I'm really excited for you guys to see. And you know, I think that's about it. You know, I just really wanted to recap on the year. I really wanted to recap on the memories I lived through, the experiences I lived through, the people I've met along the year as well, that have made this year so special as well. I truly just, you know, I take it to heart, and I truly am appreciative of that. And you know, with that being said, we say goodbye to 2021 here, and thank you so much for watching my little 2021 recap. Merry Christmas to everyone. I hope you guys have had an incredible Christmas this year. I hope it's been the best one yet. I hope it's been incredible, and I hope it's been amazing. Stay safe, have fun, enjoy yourselves, enjoy your life, and I will see you next year in 2022. God knows when in 2022, but let me tell you, I've got a lot of big things planned for the first 3 months. It's gonna be insane. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I will see you next year. Goodbye.